Hello and welcome. Imagine stepping into the heart of a vast, snow-covered landscape, where the air bites at your skin and the wind howls relentlessly across an endless expanse of frozen steppes. The temperature plummets to -40 degrees Celsius, and everything around you seems encased in ice. Yet, in the midst of this cold and unforgiving winter, there's a warmth that rises from the heart of Kazakhstan, a warmth that comes not from the fire in the hearth, but from the spirit of its people. The Kazakh people are about to celebrate the arrival of a new year, and despite the harshness of winter, this is a time of hope, joy, and tradition. Now, you may be wondering, how do people celebrate the new year when the world around them seems to freeze in time? How do they manage to welcome a new beginning when the cold is so extreme that even the simplest of tasks becomes an arduous challenge? This is the story of how the Kazakh people, surrounded by snow and ice, hold fast to their traditions and celebrate life even in the darkest of seasons. The celebration of the new year in Kazakhstan is more than just a party or a moment on a calendar. It is a profound ritual, one that's deeply intertwined with survival, the bonds of family, and respect for the past. While many around the world ring in the new year with fireworks, loud parties, and celebrations of excess, the Kazakh New Year is far quieter but no less powerful. It is a time for reflection, for honoring ancestors, for giving thanks for the survival of another year, and for hoping that the next one will bring prosperity and joy. The Kazakh people live in a land where the winters are long and unrelenting. The frozen landscape is a constant reminder of the harshness of nature, but it also symbolizes the strength and resilience of the people who call this place home. For centuries, they have adapted to the cold, and this adaptation is woven deeply into their culture and traditions. In Kazakhstan, the new year is not just about marking the passage of time, it's about facing the challenges of life with strength, perseverance, and a sense of unity. As we step into this world of cold and tradition, imagine yourself standing on the edge of a snow-covered field, your breath forming clouds in the air. The world is quiet except for the howl of the wind, and you can feel the weight of history in every step you take. You are about to enter a celebration that reflects the heart and soul of the Kazakh people, where warmth is found not just in the fire but in the shared bond of community and family. In the heart of winter, when the snow piles high and the cold seeps into the bones, the Kazakh people gather not only to eat and drink, but to honor the land, their ancestors, and the strength that has allowed them to survive in such a harsh environment. Despite the weather, the Kazakh people will come together, sharing stories, prayers, and meals, weaving the fabric of their culture and celebrating the strength of the human spirit. This celebration isn't just about food and festivities. It's about remembering the past, giving thanks, and drawing strength for the future. Imagine sitting by a warm fire with family and friends, the crackling of the flames mingling with the laughter of loved ones. The room is filled with the aroma of traditional dishes, hearty foods that will keep everyone strong through the long winter. The New Year in Kazakhstan is not a solitary event, but one that is shared by everyone in the community. A time when bonds are strengthened and everyone's resilience is celebrated. One of the key elements of the Kazakh New Year celebration is the food. In a land where survival depends on careful planning and resourcefulness, the meals served during the New Year celebration are not just about nourishment, they are about tradition, family, and culture. The centerpiece of the feast, is beshbarmak, a rich dish made from boiled mutton served with noodles and onions. This dish is a symbol of hospitality and survival, bringing warmth and strength to those who partake in it. Alongside it, you might find kurt, a dried cheese that is as much a symbol of Kazakh ingenuity as it is a food item, along with borsaki, fried dough balls that bring comfort to the coldest nights. These dishes are more than just food. They are reminders of the past and the resilience of the Kazakh people. As they sit together, breaking bread and sharing a meal, they are also honoring the spirit of those who came before them. This is a time to give thanks for the year that has passed and to pray for health, prosperity, and good fortune in the year to come. But the Kazakh New Year celebration is about more than just food. It's about ritual and spirituality. During the festivities, people gather to perform kudalyk, a traditional ritual where they honor their ancestors and seek blessings for the year ahead. This ritual is a way to connect with the past, to remember the struggles and triumphs of those who have come before, and to ask for their guidance and protection in the year to come. In this way, the Kazakh New Year is not just a celebration of time passing, but a deep reflection on the continuity of life, death, and rebirth. And then, as the evening unfolds, music and dance fill the air. The sounds of the dombra, the traditional Kazakh string instrument, and the haunting melodies of the kobyz echo through the room, lifting the spirits of all who are present. The music is a bridge between generations, a reminder of the cultural legacy that has been passed down through centuries. It is in these moments of song and dance that the true heart of the Kazakh New Year celebration comes alive, and the cold, harsh winter outside is forgotten in the warmth of the community's embrace. Through these ancient rituals, music, and shared meals, the Kazakh people demonstrate their unyielding spirit in the face of adversity. In a land where the winters are long and the challenges are many, they find a way to celebrate life, to honor the past, and to look forward to the future with hope. Despite the cold that grips the land, the Kazakh New Year is a reminder that even in the harshest conditions, there is always room for warmth, for joy, and for the strength that comes from being together. So, as you imagine yourself amidst the snow and cold of Kazakhstan, remember this. The New Year in Kazakhstan is not just about counting the hours or the days. It's about resilience, survival, and the unbreakable bond of community. It's a time to honor the past, celebrate the present, and embrace the future, no matter what the winter may bring. Imagine stepping onto the endless steppes of Kazakhstan, where the horizon stretches far beyond what you can see, covered in a thick blanket of snow. The ground beneath your feet is frozen solid, each step crunching as the cold seeps into your boots. The snow doesn't just cover the land, it's a vast, uninterrupted expanse, rolling out before you in every direction. The world feels eerily quiet, as though the snow itself muffles every sound. There's no sign of life, except for the occasional bird flying high above in the crisp winter air. You can feel the coldness in your bones, and the wind, sharp and biting, cuts through your clothes as if it's searching for any small crack to get through. The beauty of the landscape is undeniable, but there's no denying the harshness of it either. For the Kazakh people, this stark beauty is their home, but it's not without its challenges. As you stand there, the cold winds whip across the steppes, carrying with them the scent of the distant mountains and the sharp, clean air. The snowflakes dance in the wind, swirling and tumbling like tiny diamonds, creating a breathtaking yet intimidating spectacle. There's a harsh beauty to the land that can almost feel oppressive, as though the snow itself is a reminder of nature's indifference to the people who live here. You can't help but marvel at the vastness of it all. But there's no escaping the weight of the cold. It feels like the land is holding its breath, waiting for something to break the silence. The Kazakh people have adapted to this environment for centuries, but it's never easy. Living on the steppes means understanding that the weather can shift in an instant. What was a quiet morning can quickly turn into a dangerous snowstorm, disorienting and disheartening. It's the kind of place where you must be prepared at all times, where survival means more than just seeking shelter from the cold, but mastering it. For the Kazakhs, the weather is a constant adversary, a force of nature to be reckoned with, respected, and fought against. As you walk further into the heart of the steppes, you can't help but feel the weight of the isolation. The vast landscape stretches out before you, empty and unbroken. The feeling of solitude is profound, almost overwhelming, and yet it's a familiar companion for those who call this place home. The Kazakh people are no strangers to this isolation. In fact, they have made it a way of life. Their nomadic traditions have been shaped by this landscape, where the quiet expanses of snow and the endless horizon feel like both a sanctuary and a battleground. But even in this seemingly inhospitable environment, the Kazakh people have learned to thrive. They understand the rhythms of the land, the subtle shifts in the wind, the patterns in the snow, the signs of approaching storms. They know where to seek shelter, how to care for their animals, and how to gather the resources they need to survive. The cold may be harsh, but it's also a constant teacher, shaping their lives, their traditions, and their very sense of identity. Every element of their existence here, from the way they dress to the food they eat, has been influenced by the extreme conditions. Their homes, typically made from sturdy materials that can withstand the intense cold, offer refuge not just from the biting wind, but from the isolation that the steppes can impose. The warmth within these homes is something sacred, something to be cherished, because it's not just about escaping the cold, it's about finding a sense of togetherness in a land that can so easily make you feel alone. The Kazakh people's resilience, in the face of such a harsh environment, speaks to their enduring connection to this land. Despite the cold, the isolation, and the challenges that come with living in one of the harshest climates on Earth, they continue to embrace their traditions, their way of life, and the spirit of survival that has been passed down through generations. The steppes may be cold and silent, but the people who live here are far from quiet. They are a testament to the strength of the human spirit in the face of adversity. Beyond the steppes, the mountains rise majestically, their peaks covered in thick layers of ice and snow. These icy mountains form an imposing backdrop to the endless plains, their jagged peaks reaching toward a gray sky. The air is thin, making each breath feel colder than the last. The terrain is unforgiving. Rocky paths and treacherous slopes make even simple travel a perilous task. The people here have learned to adapt to the dangers of this rugged land. In winter, the mountain passes become nearly impassable, as snowstorms and blizzards blanket everything, hiding the land's true shape. The Kazakh people know how to navigate these mountains, but every journey is a test of endurance against nature's raw power. As you look up at the towering mountains, their frozen peaks seem to pierce the sky, as though they are standing watch over the land below. The jagged cliffs are framed by swirling winds and thick clouds, giving the landscape a sense of isolation and desolation. The mountains, while beautiful in their own right, are unforgiving. The cold here is not just about temperature, it's a relentless force that demands respect. The wind howls through the narrow mountain passes, carrying with it the biting chill that seems to seep into every corner of the earth. The terrain is treacherous. Steep slopes and rocky paths twist through the mountains, and with each step, the risk of slipping or stumbling becomes ever present. The snowdrifts are thick, often hiding the uneven ground beneath, making every movement an act of caution. The terrain changes rapidly. What might seem like a safe path one moment can become a cliff or a ravine the next. The elements, especially in winter, have no mercy. A sudden snowstorm can reduce visibility to nearly nothing, and the freezing temperatures can turn a simple journey into a battle against the clock. In these conditions, time becomes a luxury you can't afford. Yet, despite the harshness of these mountains, the Kazakh people have learned to navigate them with remarkable skill and resilience. For centuries, they've made their way through these perilous passes, hunting, herding, and traveling between their winter shelters and summer pastures. Their deep knowledge of the land, honed through generations, has taught them how to survive in this wild, rugged environment. They understand the winds, the rhythms of the snowstorms, and the way the land shifts over the seasons. They know when to take shelter and when to push forward, using the stars, the position of the sun, and the lay of the land to guide them through. The winter storms are a constant challenge. Snowstorms can arrive without warning, enveloping the mountains in a thick veil of white, making it nearly impossible to see beyond a few feet. The winds, sharp and howling, make it even harder to stay on course. It's in these moments that the Kazakh people rely on their experience and their strength. They have learned to read the subtle signs of the weather, how the clouds move, the way the snow falls, and the patterns in the ice, allowing them to predict storms and navigate through even the most blinding of blizzards. They have also developed a deep understanding of their horses and the other animals that help them traverse this unforgiving terrain. The bond between the Kazakh people and their animals is one of survival, trust, and mutual respect. The horses, capable of withstanding extreme cold and traversing the rough terrain, are indispensable to life in these mountains. For those traveling through the mountains in winter, there is no room for error. Each step, each decision must be calculated with precision. The risks are high, and the consequences of making a wrong move can be fatal. The mountain passes may be the most dangerous during winter, but they are also a symbol of endurance. To cross them successfully is to prove not only your knowledge of the land, but also your resilience in the face of nature's raw power. In many ways, these mountains are not just a physical obstacle, they are a test of the spirit. The Kazakh people don't just survive here, they thrive, drawing strength from the very land that challenges them. The mountains are a place of both beauty and danger. From the frozen summits to the deep valleys, the landscape offers breathtaking views, snow-covered peaks standing like silent sentinels against the gray sky. The air so clear that it feels as if you can see forever. Yet this beauty is paired with the harsh realities of the land. The cold, the isolation, the constant struggle against the forces of nature. And yet, the Kazakh people continue to live here, to endure, to celebrate their traditions and culture amidst the rugged beauty of these mountains. For them, the mountains are more than just a backdrop, they are a part of who they are. a constant reminder of their strength, their adaptability, and their unyielding connection to the land. The wind is another formidable challenge in this frozen landscape. It howls across the steppes and through the mountains, unrelenting and cold. It feels as though it's sweeping across the entire land, pushing you back with each step you take. The wind cuts through clothing, forcing you to huddle deeper into your layers of furs and wool. On some days, the wind is so strong that it lifts the snow from the ground, swirling it into blinding snowdrifts, making it impossible to see more than a few feet in front of you. These winds are a constant companion for the Kazakh people during winter, and they have learned to adapt to this relentless force of nature. In many ways, the wind symbolizes the harshness of life here, persistent, unyielding, and often overwhelming. As you brace yourself against the biting wind, you can feel its weight, its pressure pressing against you from all sides. It cuts through your clothes, no matter how many layers you wear. The cold seems to find any gap in your defenses, whether it's a crack in your gloves or a shift in your coat. It doesn't just chill your body, it chills your very spirit, a constant reminder of how small you are in the face of nature's vast power. On days like these, the wind is not just a force to endure. It is a challenge, one that demands respect and resilience. The snow, too, is at the mercy of the wind. It drifts and swirls in the air, carried by the gusts, blurring the landscape into a wall of white. The ground, once solid and predictable, becomes an ever-changing maze of snowdrifts that seem to appear out of nowhere. One moment, you might be walking on firm, frozen earth, and the next, you're knee-deep in a snowbank, the snow piled high by the wind's fury. The wind reshapes the world constantly, covering paths, hiding landmarks, and making navigation a constant test of skill and patience. For the Kazakh people, this is part of daily life in winter, an unpredictable environment where the elements can turn on you without warning. But the Kazakhs have learned to live with the wind, to move with it rather than against it. Over the centuries, they've adapted their clothing, their shelters, and even their routines to accommodate this powerful force. Thick furs and woolen layers are essential, not just for warmth, but as a shield against the wind's relentless bite. The traditional telpek, felt hat, and heavy wool coats keep the worst of the cold at bay, while gloves and scarves protect the face and hands. The Kazakh people have also learned to read the wind, understanding when it will be strongest and how best to shelter themselves. In the mountains, they know to take cover behind boulders or seek shelter in the valleys, where the wind may be less fierce. Their homes are designed to withstand the force of the wind, low, sturdy, and insulated with layers of felt, mud, and stone to keep the warmth inside. The wind also shapes the daily routines of the Kazakh people. On the coldest days, they move with purpose, never lingering too long in one spot, always mindful of the wind's power. Horses, essential for travel and survival, are also adapted to this environment. They are bred to withstand the cold and the wind, their thick coats acting as natural armor. Kazakhs know the signs, the direction of the wind, the feel of the air, the way the snow moves, using these clues to determine when a storm is coming, when it's safe to venture out, and when it's best to stay put. The relentless wind has also become symbolic of life itself in Kazakhstan. It is a force that cannot be controlled or predicted, just as life often throws challenges that are beyond one's control. The Kazakh people, however, have learned to endure. They face the wind head-on, pushing forward no matter how strong it blows. Because in this land, strength comes not from avoiding the elements, but from learning how to live with them. The wind teaches them resilience, humility, and perseverance, the qualities that are essential for surviving in a place where nature is as unforgiving as it is beautiful. In many ways, the wind serves as a metaphor for life on the steppes. Just as it sweeps across the land, unstoppable and indifferent, so too do the challenges that life brings. But like the Kazakh people, who have endured and adapted over centuries, the wind is also a reminder that there is power in persistence. The people here do not simply survive the wind, they live with it. They thrive in its presence, and they honor the strength it demands. It is a constant companion, but also a symbol of the enduring spirit of the Kazakh people, who stand strong against the relentless forces of nature, no matter how fierce the wind may blow. For the Kazakh people, living in such extreme conditions requires resilience, resourcefulness, and a deep connection with the land. The cold doesn't just affect the way they dress, it affects how they live. Water freezes in the rivers, making it difficult to access fresh supplies. The animals they rely on for food and warmth must be kept sheltered from the cold. And even the simplest tasks, like collecting firewood or traveling between villages, become monumental undertakings. The winter months stretch on for what seems like an eternity, and surviving in these conditions is a constant battle. Yet, despite the overwhelming challenges, the Kazakh people persist. They've learned to respect the land, to work together, and to find warmth in each other's company. The harsh winter might be relentless, but it is this very toughness that has forged a resilient and enduring community. As the cold seeps deeper into the bones of the land, the Kazakh people adapt in ways that have been passed down through generations. For them, the winter is not just a season, it is a way of life, one that demands constant vigilance and respect. Each day is shaped by the cold, and every action requires careful planning and coordination. The rivers, once a source of fresh water, now lie frozen, their surfaces covered in thick sheets of ice. This means that the Kazakhs must gather water from deep wells or melt snow for drinking and cooking, both of which take time and energy. The resources they once took for granted now become precious commodities, and the struggle to access them becomes a daily challenge. The animals, too, must be protected from the cold. The Kazakh people rely on their livestock for food, warmth, and transportation. But in the winter, the harsh temperatures can be fatal to unprepared animals. Horses, sheep, cattle, and camels, each with their own needs, must be sheltered from the biting wind and snow. Stables are carefully built and insulated, with thick layers of hay and straw to keep the animals warm. The Kazakh people know the importance of maintaining their livestock in winter. They are not just animals, but lifelines that ensure survival. Caring for these animals becomes as much a part of their daily routine as caring for themselves. Even the most basic tasks become monumental undertakings. Collecting firewood, for instance, is no small feat. In a land where the trees are sparse and the snow often covers the ground for months on end, firewood becomes one of the most essential resources. Yet gathering it requires long treks through deep snowdrifts, often in the teeth of the very winds that threaten to knock you off balance. The wood itself must be carefully stored, as moisture in the air can make even the most well-dried logs difficult to burn. But the warmth of the fire is vital not just for heat but for cooking, for light, and for the sense of comfort it provides. after a long day spent battling the cold. Traveling between villages becomes another challenge. The paths, once well-trodden, are now hidden beneath thick layers of snow and ice. The Kazakh people rely on their horses and sleds to move from place to place, but these journeys, once simple, now take longer and require greater effort. Each journey is fraught with risks: the possibility of getting lost in a snowstorm, the threat of hypothermia, or the danger of being stranded in the wilderness. The cold can make even short trips feel like monumental challenges, and the Kazakh people must be constantly prepared for whatever nature may throw their way. Yet, despite the overwhelming challenges, the Kazakh people persist. They have learned to work together, to depend on one another, and to find strength in unity. The winter months may feel endless, but they are also a time of deep connection and community. People gather in each other's homes, sharing warmth, food, and stories, knowing that together they can face the challenges of the season. The long winter nights are filled with music, laughter, and the sharing of meals. Simple, hearty dishes like beshbarmak and kurt, the very foods that have sustained the Kazakh people for generations. These moments of togetherness, even in the midst of hardship, are what provide hope and comfort. The resilience of the Kazakh people is born from their deep connection to the land and to each other. They respect the land, knowing that it can be as cruel as it is beautiful. But they also know that survival depends on their ability to adapt, to endure, and to support one another. The harsh winter is a reminder of nature's power, but it also forges the strength of the Kazakh spirit. Through these months of struggle, the community is strengthened, not broken. They find ways to endure, to survive, and to thrive in a world where the cold never truly relents. This toughness is what has kept the Kazakh people resilient throughout history. The very nature of the land, with its extremes of temperature and weather, has shaped the culture, traditions, and way of life. It has instilled a sense of endurance that runs through the people like a river through the steppes. And while the winter may be long and the challenges unending, it is this very toughness that continues to define the Kazakh people, their culture, and their way of life. In the face of nature's harshest conditions, they stand strong, unbowed, unbroken, and ever hopeful. When you think of Kazakh New Year celebrations, beshbarmak is the first dish that comes to mind. This hearty dish, made from boiled mutton, flat noodles, and a generous helping of onions, is not just a meal, it's the very essence of Kazakh hospitality and survival. As you sit down at the table, you can feel the warmth of the dish spreading through your body, a welcome comfort after the biting cold of the steppes. The tender mutton, rich and flavorful, is a source of nourishment for the people who rely on livestock for their survival. During the long winter months, when fresh vegetables and fruits are scarce, beshbarmak is a vital part of their diet, providing both sustenance and warmth. This dish symbolizes the Kazakh people's connection to the land and their livestock, embodying both their resourcefulness and their respect for the animals that keep them alive in such harsh conditions. As you take your first bite, you realize that this is more than food. It's a symbol of survival, tradition, and family unity. As you savor the rich, tender mutton in each bite, you can feel the layers of history and culture embedded in the dish. Beshbarmak is not just food, it's a living tradition passed down through generations, a meal shared among family and friends, and a reminder of the hardships and triumphs that have shaped the Kazakh people. The flat noodles, smooth and comforting, soak up the savory broth, enhancing the dish's depth of flavor. The onions add a subtle sweetness, balancing the richness of the meat and creating a harmonious blend that satisfies both body and soul. The preparation of beshbarmak itself reflects the Kazakh people's deep connection with their land and animals. The mutton used in the dish comes from the livestock that sustains them through the harsh winters, a vital resource for food, warmth, and transportation. The cooking process is a communal effort, with family members working together to prepare the meal, whether it's slaughtering the animal, preparing the noodles, or cooking the dish over an open flame. This shared labor is a reflection of the Kazakh value of community, where each person's contribution strengthens the bonds that tie them together. The act of making and eating beshbarmak is a ritual of unity, reminding the people that their survival is interdependent, and that together they can face any challenge, no matter how harsh the winter. When you sit down to share this meal, it is not just about the food, it's about the time spent together, the stories told over the table, and the memories created in the warmth of the home. In the midst of the cold, beshbarmak brings warmth not just to the body, but to the spirit, offering comfort and solace during the long winter months. As the meal is shared, it strengthens the bonds of family and community, reaffirming the Kazakh belief in the importance of togetherness and mutual support. In a land where survival often depends on the resources you have at hand, beshbarmak is a dish born from necessity and tradition. It represents the ingenuity of the Kazakh people, who have learned to make the most of what the land offers, and the resilience of those who have faced centuries of difficult winters. Through this humble yet hearty dish, the Kazakh people not only feed their bodies, but they nourish their sense of identity, their connection to the land, and their respect for the animals that provide for them. For the Kazakh people, beshbarmak is more than just a meal. It is a reflection of their history, their survival, and their culture. It symbolizes the strength, unity, and enduring spirit of a people who have learned to thrive in one of the world's most unforgiving environments. As you finish your meal, you feel a deep sense of connection not just to the dish, but to the people who created it and to the land that made it possible. This simple, yet powerful meal is a reminder that in the face of adversity, there is strength in community, in tradition, and in the warmth of shared moments. Next, you encounter kurt, a traditional dried cheese that the Kazakh people have relied on for centuries. This small, hard ball of cheese is a snack that has great significance, especially in winter. Made from fermented milk, kurt is packed with protein and fat, making it a perfect food to sustain the Kazakh people during the long, cold months. The cheese is portable, making it an ideal snack for nomads who would have carried it with them on their travels across the steppes. As you taste it, you can feel its saltiness, its tang, and its satisfying richness. Kurt not only provides nourishment, but it also represents the resourcefulness of the Kazakh people, using simple, natural ingredients to create something that can last through the harsh winter months. This humble cheese, though small, carries the weight of generations of tradition and survival, a reminder of the self-sufficiency that has always been vital to Kazakh life. As you continue to chew on the kurt, its firm texture gradually softens in your mouth, releasing its unique flavor, a sharp tanginess balanced by the richness of the milk. It's not a food meant for indulgence, but for sustenance, a food that is meant to keep you going when the winter months stretch endlessly ahead. The saltiness lingers on your tongue, and you can feel the energy it provides. A quick, effective boost for anyone who needs to keep moving through the cold. The simplicity of the cheese hides the sophistication of the knowledge required to create it, how the Kazakh people, with nothing but milk and time, have mastered the art of preserving food that can withstand even the harshest winters. Curd is more than just a snack, it's a symbol of the Kazakh way of life. The nomads, who once traversed the vast frozen steppes, needed food that could travel with them, that wouldn't spoil in the cold, and could be eaten quickly while on the move. The portability of curd made it the perfect companion for these journeys. Small enough to carry in a bag and packed with the essential nutrients needed for survival, it became an indispensable part of the nomadic diet. Whether in the warmth of a yurt or out on a long trek through the snow, curd was always within reach, offering a bit of comfort and fuel when it was needed most. This dried cheese is also a testament to the Kazakh people's deep understanding of their environment. In a land where fresh food can be scarce for much of the year, curd offers a solution to the problem of preserving milk, which would otherwise spoil quickly. The process of turning milk into curd involves careful fermentation, drying, and salting, techniques that have been passed down through generations. What began as a practical necessity for nomads has become a cherished tradition, deeply ingrained in the Kazakh way of life. Making curd is more than just preparing food, it's a link to the past, a way of honoring the resourcefulness and ingenuity of those who came before. As you eat, you realize that curd is more than just a snack or even a meal. It's a reminder of survival and self-sufficiency. The Kazakh people have learned to make the most of what they have, crafting foods that not only keep them fed, but also carry the stories of their ancestors. Curd, though small, holds the weight of generations of knowledge, wisdom, and tradition. Its very simplicity is a reflection of the Kazakh spirit, resourceful, resilient, and deeply connected to the land. Even in the depths of winter, when fresh food seems like a distant dream, curd provides a vital link to sustenance, offering not just physical nourishment, but a deep sense of cultural pride. As you taste the tangy cheese, it's clear that this small ball of dried milk carries the essence of survival in the Kazakh steppes, of food that has stood the test of time and continues to serve as both a source of strength and a symbol of the unyielding spirit of the Kazakh people. As the meal continues, you're introduced to borsaki, the golden fried dough balls that are an essential part of any New Year's feast. Light and airy, yet rich and comforting, borsaki is a treat that's perfect for sharing. You can imagine how, after a long day of work in the cold, the smell of borsaki frying in hot oil would bring a sense of comfort and warmth to any home. These simple treats are often served with tea, bringing people together to enjoy a moment of relaxation and camaraderie. But beyond their delicious taste, borsaki also carry cultural symbolism. They're often made in large quantities and shared among family members and guests, embodying the Kazakh value of hospitality. The act of making and sharing borsaki during the New Year's celebration is a reminder of the importance of family and community, as well as the joy found in even the simplest of pleasures. In a land where survival is often difficult, borsaki is a symbol of abundance and generosity, a sweet escape from the harshness of winter. As you take your first bite of borsaki, the warm, golden dough ball melts in your mouth, the crisp exterior giving way to a soft, airy center. It's a contrast of textures, light yet satisfying, with just the right amount of sweetness. The slight oiliness from the frying process adds to the richness, making it the perfect companion to a steaming cup of tea. You can almost feel the warmth of the kitchen, the comforting aroma of the frying dough filling the air, as if the very essence of Kazakh hospitality is being offered through this humble treat. It's not just food, it's an experience, one that brings people together and offers a moment of reprieve from the hardships of daily life. In Kazakhstan, where the winters can feel like an endless stretch of cold and isolation, barsaki provides a source of comfort, both physically and emotionally. The act of frying these dough balls, watching them puff up in the hot oil, is a simple yet deeply satisfying process. It's the kind of food that brings people into the kitchen, makes them gather around the fire, and offers a shared experience that connects generations. It's something that can be enjoyed in silence, in conversation, or even while telling stories. Each bite is a reminder that even in the harshest of winters, moments of warmth and joy can be found in the simplest things. The cultural symbolism of borsaki goes beyond its role as a food. These fried dough balls are often made in large batches, intended to be shared with family, neighbors, and guests. The Kazakh people place great importance on hospitality, and borsaki is a tangible representation of this value. When guests arrive at a Kazakh home, they are not simply offered a meal, they are offered a seat at the table, a cup of tea, and a warm, welcoming spirit. Barsaki is the embodiment of this hospitality made with love, served with care, and shared with the community. It's a gesture that signifies more than just the act of feeding others. It's about creating bonds, strengthening connections, and showing generosity. As you look around at the faces of the people gathered together, enjoying their borsaki, you see how this simple treat weaves through the fabric of Kazakh life. It's not just about survival, but about thriving together even in the coldest of winters. The sharing of food like borsaki reminds the Kazakh people of the importance of family and community, of the joy that comes from simple pleasures, and the strength that can be found in unity. The tradition of making and sharing borsaki during the New Year's celebration reinforces these values, creating moments of warmth and togetherness that transcend the harshness of the season. In a land where resources can be scarce, where survival is a constant struggle, barsaki serves as a symbol of abundance. It represents not just the food itself, but the spirit of generosity that runs through Kazakh culture. It's a sweet escape from the difficult realities of life in the steppes, a reminder that no matter how cold the winter may be, there is always room for warmth, kindness, and hospitality. The golden dough balls are more than just a treat. They are a celebration of life, of the bonds that hold people together, and of the enduring spirit of the Kazakh people, who continue to find joy and abundance even in the most challenging of circumstances. Finally, you taste kubyz, a traditional drink made from fermented mare's milk, and it's unlike anything you've experienced before. This tangy, slightly sour beverage has been a staple of Kazakh life for centuries. Kubyz is more than just a drink, it's a link to the ancient traditions of the Kazakh nomads. The fermentation process gives kubyz its unique taste, and it's known for its energizing properties, making it a perfect beverage for those enduring the cold winter months. It's also rich in nutrients, providing a source of hydration, protein, and vitamins. For the Kazakh people, kubyz represents a deep connection to their animals. particularly the horses that have played such a vital role in their lives. Drinking kumiz during the New Year's celebration is a way to honor the animals that have provided for them, as well as a reminder of the nomadic roots that still shape Kazakh culture today. As you drink it, you feel the warmth spreading through you, a moment of connection to the land, the animals, and the people who have made this drink a symbol of survival and tradition. As you take your first sip of kumiz, the tangy, slightly effervescent liquid dances on your tongue, leaving behind a refreshing, almost invigorating sensation. The taste is bold yet comforting, with a slight sourness balanced by its natural richness. It's unlike any drink you've had before, a reminder that this traditional beverage is deeply intertwined with the land and people who have perfected its craft over centuries. You can feel the warmth spreading through your body as the kumiz works its magic, nourishing, hydrating, and energizing you all at once. It's the kind of drink that replenishes more than just the body it stirs, a sense of history, culture, and connection. In Kazakhstan, where the cold winter months can seem endless, kumiz is more than just a beverage, it is a lifeline. For centuries, the Kazakh nomads have relied on kumiz as a source of sustenance, especially during the long, harsh winters when other forms of hydration and nutrition were scarce. Made from fermented mare's milk, it's packed with protein, vitamins, and minerals that help sustain the body through even the toughest conditions. Its slightly alcoholic content gives it an energizing quality, providing the kind of refreshment that helps the Kazakh people endure their challenging environment. Kumiz isn't just a drink, it's a tool of survival, developed over generations to meet the unique needs of the nomadic lifestyle. But kumiz is also a cultural symbol, embodying the deep connection that the Kazakh people have with their horses. Horses have always been central to Kazakh life, not only as a means of transport but also as a vital source of milk, meat, and, of course, kumiz. Drinking kumiz is a way for the Kazakh people to honor their animals, acknowledging the important role horses have played in providing for them throughout the years. The practice of making kumiz is a tradition that dates back to the ancient nomadic tribes of Central Asia, and it continues to be a vital part of Kazakh culture today. For the Kazakh people, kumiz represents more than just nourishment, it's a tribute to the horses that have supported them through the centuries. As you sip more of the kumiz, you begin to understand why it holds such a special place in the Kazakh New Year's celebration. It's not just about drinking, it's about connecting with the past, honoring the traditions that have been passed down through generations, and celebrating the deep bond between people and animals. The ritual of drinking kumiz is a way of remembering the nomadic roots of the Kazakh people, a reminder that their survival and prosperity have always depended on their ability to live in harmony with the land and its creatures. This humble drink, made with care and respect, carries with it the stories of the past and the strength of the people who have preserved this tradition for centuries. In that moment, as the warmth of the kumiz spreads through you, you realize that this is more than just a beverage. It's a symbol of survival, resilience, and the enduring connection between the Kazakh people, their animals, and the land. As you finish your drink, you are filled with a deep sense of respect for the traditions and customs that have allowed the Kazakh people to thrive in such a harsh environment. Kumiz is not just a drink. It's a testament to the enduring spirit of the Kazakh people, a reminder that survival in the face of adversity is not only possible but has been done for centuries, with strength, unity, and respect for the world around them. Each of these traditional foods plays an integral role in survival during the harsh winter months, providing the Kazakh people with the nourishment they need to endure the cold. But beyond their nutritional value, these foods are rich in cultural symbolism. They represent the resourcefulness, resilience, and hospitality of the Kazakh people. Beshbarmak speaks to their connection with their livestock. Kurt is a testament to their ability to preserve food and sustain themselves in isolation. Barsaki embodies the spirit of sharing and community, and kubyz honors the bond between humans and horses, a symbol of the Kazakh nomadic heritage. Together, these foods tell the story of a people who have learned to thrive in one of the harshest climates on Earth, finding warmth not only in their food but in their traditions, their family, and their community. In the face of relentless winters, these foods provide not just physical sustenance, but also a sense of continuity, a reminder of the strength and resilience that has carried the Kazakh people through centuries of harsh conditions. As the new year approaches, you find yourself standing in the heart of a Kazakh home, surrounded by family and the comforting warmth of a fire. This is not just any celebration, it is a time for kudalyk, the traditional ritual that honors the ancestors and seeks their blessings for the year ahead. The ceremony is simple but deeply meaningful, steeped in centuries of tradition. The Kazakh people believe that their ancestors, whose spirits are still present, can offer guidance, protection, and strength in the coming year. Through kudalyk, the family acknowledges the sacrifices made by those who came before them, showing respect and gratitude for their role in shaping the community's survival. As you witness the ritual, you understand that this isn't just about remembering the past. It's about connecting with it, drawing strength from the history that has forged the Kazakh way of life. There are prayers, offerings of food, and even small tokens of respect placed on the table, all as a way to invite the ancestors' spirits to be present for the occasion. The ritual of kudalyk serves as a reminder that no one is ever truly gone, that the teachings and wisdom of the past are still alive in the hearts of the living. For the Kazakh people, this moment of connection with the past is vital, grounding them in a sense of identity and purpose as they prepare for the future. As the prayers are spoken softly, their rhythm carries a sense of reverence, echoing through the room as the family members gather in unison. Each word holds a weight, a connection to the past that binds the generations together. You can feel the deep respect that the Kazakh people have for their ancestors, their gratitude for the lessons they passed down, for the strength they provided in times of hardship, and for the wisdom that continues to guide them today. The offerings of food, simple yet carefully prepared, are placed on the table as an offering of sustenance, not just for the living, but for the spirits of the ancestors. Each dish, from beshbarmak to borsaki, is a symbol of abundance, of life, and of survival, meant to nourish not just the body but the soul. The candles flicker in the soft glow, casting shadows that seem to dance in rhythm with the prayers. You notice how the family members take turns, each saying their own quiet prayer, each person speaking directly to their ancestors, asking for health, guidance, and protection. There's no hurry in the process. The ritual is slow, deliberate, and full of meaning. It's a time to reflect on the year past, to honor the struggles and triumphs of those who have come before, and to set intentions for the year to come. It's a time for the living to ask for strength, not just for survival, but for thriving in the face of future challenges. As the ritual continues, the room seems to fill with an intangible sense of peace. It's not the kind of peace that comes from the absence of struggle, but the kind that comes from knowing that no matter how difficult life may be, you are never truly alone. The spirits of your ancestors, though unseen, are with you, guiding you, watching over you. The Kazakh people believe that the bonds between the living and the dead are never truly broken, that with each passing year, the connection grows stronger, the lessons more deeply rooted in their way of life. This sense of continuity and connection is vital to the Kazakh people. In a land where survival has often depended on resilience and unity, rituals like kudalyk are a reminder that their strength comes not only from their own endurance, but from the collective wisdom and strength of generations that have come before. As you look around the room, you see the faces of the young and the old, all bound together by the same unspoken understanding that the past, present, and future are woven together in a seamless fabric of tradition, faith, and community. As the ritual reaches its conclusion, the final prayers are offered with quiet reverence, the spirits of the ancestors invited to remain in the hearts of the family throughout the coming year. The offerings are then shared, the meal transformed from a simple feast into a sacred act of communion with those who have shaped their lives. You feel a sense of calm settle over the group, a collective peace that comes from knowing that they are carrying the wisdom and strength of their ancestors with them as they move forward into the new year. In this moment, the Kazakh people reaffirm their connection to the land, to their animals, and to their ancestors. Through the act of kudalyk, they honor their past, embrace their present, and look with hope toward the future, knowing that the bond between the living and the dead will continue to guide and sustain them. It is a powerful reminder that, despite the challenges of life, survival is not just about enduring the cold and the hardships, it's about honoring the legacy of those who have gone before, drawing strength from them, and passing that strength on to future generations. As the ritual of kudalyk comes to a close, there's a collective exhale in the room, as if the very air has been filled with the blessings and the presence of the ancestors. The atmosphere shifts from one of solemnity to one of warmth and comfort. The family members who have just paid their respects now share in the meal, breaking bread together. The dishes laid out on the table are not just food, they are the result of years of labor, care, and tradition. Each bite is not just nourishment, but a link to the past, a way of ensuring that the bonds between generations remain unbroken. You notice how the room feels different now. The stories and laughter that begin to fill the space are infused with a sense of unity. There is a deep appreciation for each moment, for each person gathered around the table. The Kazakh people understand that these rituals are not just about honoring the past, they are about reinforcing the sense of community that is so vital to their survival. In this land of extreme weather and isolation, kudalyk is more than just a spiritual practice. It's a way of reinforcing the fabric of the Kazakh way of life. It's a celebration of the shared history and the collective strength of a people who have endured countless winters together. As the meal continues, you begin to see how this ceremony transcends the simple act of honoring the dead. It becomes a way to ensure that the living are ready for the future. The prayers spoken tonight are not just pleas for survival, but expressions of hope for prosperity, health, and a good harvest. The Kazakh people know that survival requires more than just strength in the body. It requires strength in spirit, community, and tradition. Kudalyk serves as a reminder that life is cyclical, that every year is both an end and a new beginning, and that they are part of a long lineage that continues to evolve. When the meal finally comes to a close, you feel a sense of completion, as if the ritual has fulfilled its purpose. It has honored the past, celebrated the present, and prepared for the future. As the family members exchange final words of thanks and blessings for the new year, you understand that the ritual of kudalyk is more than just a ceremonial act. It is the heartbeat of Kazakh culture. It is the thread that ties the generations together, weaving the strength of the past with the promise of the future. For the Kazakh people, these moments of connection are sacred. In a world where survival can be a daily challenge, the act of honoring the past and seeking guidance for the future is an act of profound strength. It is a way to reaffirm that no matter how difficult life may be, they are never truly alone. Their ancestors, their community, and their traditions are always with them, providing the wisdom and the strength needed to face whatever challenges the coming year may bring. And as the ritual draws to a close, you realize that in this shared act of remembrance, there is an unspoken promise that the Kazakh people will continue to endure, to honor their past, and to pass on the knowledge and traditions that will help them survive for generations to come. The night is filled with the soft murmurs of prayers, as each family member offers their hopes and wishes for the year to come. Health, prosperity, and good harvests are the central themes of the prayers. The cold winter months are harsh, and the coming year will be just as uncertain. But through prayer, the Kazakh people ask for strength and abundance. You can hear the soft, rhythmic hum of the words as they are spoken in unison, a communal expression of faith and hope for the future. These prayers are more than just words. They are a way of reaffirming the family's collective desire to thrive despite the harsh environment. Health is at the forefront of these prayers, because the winters are unforgiving, and sickness can quickly spread in such cold, isolated conditions. The Kazakh people ask for protection from illness, for the strength to endure the harsh months ahead, and for the safety of their children and elders. Prosperity comes next, a plea for good fortune in the year to come, especially for the animals and the crops that will sustain them through the long seasons. And finally, the prayer for a good harvest is essential. Without a bountiful harvest, survival is uncertain. The prayer is a reminder that everything the Kazakh people have, their livestock, their food, their very way of life relies on the land's generosity, and they must honor it through prayer and respect. As the prayer continues, you can feel the weight of each word, a deep, resonating sincerity that fills the room. The Kazakh people know all too well that survival is not a given. It is a delicate balance, one that requires both resilience and respect for the forces of nature. The harshness of winter is a constant reminder of life's fragility, and the prayer for strength is not just for endurance, but for the wisdom to know how to live in harmony with the land. Every word spoken is a plea for guidance, for the strength to navigate the uncertainties that the new year might bring. It is as much about asking for help as it is about reaffirming their commitment to survive and thrive, no matter the obstacles. The wind howls outside, but inside the warmth of the home, the voices rise in unison, echoing the strength of generations who have survived before them. The Kazakh people are not only praying for themselves, but for the collective well-being of the community. The sense of togetherness is palpable. It is not just individual survival they seek, but a shared future. The prayers, though simple, hold deep meaning. Each plea for health, prosperity, and a good harvest is an affirmation of their unbreakable bond with each other and with the land. As the prayer for prosperity continues, the Kazakh people ask for the well-being of their livestock. The animals are essential to their survival, providing food, warmth, and transportation. In a land where resources are limited, a healthy herd is often the difference between surviving the winter and facing hardship. They pray for their horses, cattle, and sheep to remain strong and healthy, for the land to provide the grass and forage they need, and for the protection of their animals from the dangers of the cold. You can sense the deep connection between the people and their animals. This is a relationship built on mutual care and dependence. In the Kazakh way of life, the health of the animals is as important as the health of the people themselves. The final prayer for a good harvest is perhaps the most critical. Without a bountiful harvest, the Kazakh people face the threat of hunger, and the long winter months become an even greater struggle. The land they rely on for crops, fruits, and grains is unpredictable. While the animals can be tended to and protected, the harvest is at the mercy of the weather. So, the prayer for a good harvest is not just a plea for food, it is a reminder of the interconnectedness between the Kazakh people and the earth. They know that to live sustainably, they must honor the land, respect its rhythms, and give thanks for the gifts it provides. The harvest and the cycle of planting and reaping represents the heart of their agricultural life and their ongoing relationship with the natural world. With each prayer, you begin to see how deeply embedded spirituality is in the daily lives of the Kazakh people. These prayers are not just an annual tradition, they are woven into the very fabric of their existence. The Kazakh people live with the understanding that their survival is not only the result of hard work and perseverance, but also the blessings of nature and the ancestors who watch over them. These prayers are an expression of gratitude, of hope, and of trust in the unseen forces that govern their lives. They acknowledge that while they can control their actions, there are forces beyond their control, nature, fate, and the will of the ancestors that shape their destiny. As the final prayer is spoken and the last words fade into the stillness of the night, you feel a quiet sense of peace settle over the room. There is no fear in the uncertainty of the future, only hope and trust. The Kazakh people have faced harsh winters, bountiful harvests, and unpredictable weather for centuries. They know that each year brings its own challenges, but they also know that they are not alone in facing them. Through their prayers, they are not only asking for protection and abundance, they are reaffirming their commitment to one another, to their traditions, and to the land that sustains them. In this shared moment of faith, there is strength in numbers, a collective hope for a future where survival is not just about enduring hardship, but about thriving together as one community bound by faith, tradition, and respect for the earth. As the last whispers of prayer fade into the night, there's a quiet shift in the atmosphere. The candles that had flickered through the prayers now burn steady and warm, casting a gentle glow that mirrors the sense of peace that has settled over the room. The family, bound by tradition and faith, gathers together in a circle of gratitude and hope. The ritual, though complete, has left behind an unspoken bond, an invisible thread connecting them to their ancestors and to each other. The Kazakh people, in their quiet resilience, understand that the new year is not just a change in the calendar, it's a fresh opportunity to live in harmony with the land, with nature, and with their community. The prayers have asked for health, for prosperity, for a good harvest, but they've also asked for something deeper: the strength to face the unknown with courage, the ability to weather the storm as one, and the faith that, despite the harshness of winter and the unpredictability of the future, they will continue to thrive together. As the ceremony concludes, the family begins to share the first of the meal they've so carefully prepared. The warmth of the food, the rich scents of beshbarmak, borsaki, and kubyz fills the room, providing the comfort of sustenance, both physical and emotional. The children sit close, eager to enjoy the food and listen to the elders recount stories of the past, of ancestors who had braved the very same winters they now face. The older members of the family, their voices soft and steady, pass down wisdom and history, reminding the younger generation of the strength of their people and the importance of their traditions. As the family gathers around the table, sharing food, stories, and laughter, you realize that the true beauty of this celebration lies not just in the rituals, but in the collective spirit of the people. It's in the way they come together, despite the cold, despite the isolation, to reaffirm the strength of their bonds. The Kazakh New Year celebration is not just about food or prayers, it's about unity, about sharing in the collective hope for the future, and about recognizing that survival isn't just about enduring hardship, but about doing so as one, with strength and support from the community. The prayers for health, prosperity, and good harvests may have been spoken aloud, but the greatest hope of all is felt in the heart of the family as they gather together. In these simple, everyday moments, shared meals, shared stories, shared prayers, they find the strength to face another year, knowing that no matter what challenges may come, they are never truly alone. They carry the wisdom of their ancestors, the strength of their community, and the unshakable belief that, with faith and unity, they can weather any storm. As the night winds on, the sense of peace lingers, a quiet affirmation that, despite the harsh winters and the uncertainty of the future, the Kazakh people are bound by more than just survival. They are bound by love, tradition, and an unbreakable bond to the land and to each other. And in that bond, there is an enduring strength, a strength that will carry them into the new year, no matter what it may bring. As you watch the ceremony unfold, you begin to realize how deeply spiritual practices are embedded in the Kazakh way of life. These rituals are not just customs, they are a way of maintaining cultural identity, of preserving the values that have allowed the Kazakh people to survive in one of the world's most challenging environments. The spirituality of kudalyk and the prayers for the new year form the bedrock of Kazakh culture. They are a reflection of the people's connection to the land, to the animals that sustain them, and to the generations that have come before them. Through these spiritual practices, the Kazakh people keep their cultural traditions alive, passing them from one generation to the next, and ensuring that the essence of their identity is preserved no matter how the world around them changes. The rituals also provide a sense of belonging. For the Kazakh people, these spiritual practices are not isolated events. They are deeply integrated into their daily lives. They are woven into the fabric of their community, creating bonds that are stronger than the harsh winter winds. Through prayer and ceremony, the Kazakh people connect not only with their ancestors, but with each other, reaffirming their shared purpose and values. This sense of unity is what keeps the community strong, even in the face of adversity. As the ritual continues, you feel the sense of togetherness growing stronger. The prayers, spoken softly but with such sincerity, create a rhythm, a heartbeat that pulses through the room. It's clear that these spiritual practices do more than offer a moment of reverence. They serve as a living thread that connects past, present, and future. The Kazakh people aren't simply paying homage to their ancestors. They are calling on the strength and wisdom of those who lived before them, ensuring that the values of perseverance, unity, and respect for the land are carried forward into the future. In every prayer and every gesture, the Kazakh people reaffirm their belief in the interconnectedness of all things. The land, the animals, the people, they are all part of a larger cycle of life. The rituals are a reminder that survival isn't just about enduring the challenges of the present, but about understanding one's place in the vast tapestry of life. The Kazakh people, living in one of the harshest environments on earth, know that to survive, they must honor and respect the world around them. These spiritual practices, rooted in centuries of tradition, are a means of expressing that respect. What stands out most is the profound sense of collective identity. These rituals bind not just the individual to their ancestors, but the entire community to one another. In a world where isolation can be a constant challenge, where the weather and landscape can often separate families, the rituals of kudalyk and prayer act as a glue, drawing people together in shared purpose. As you watch family members, young and old, speak their prayers with reverence, you realize that this is not just a personal act, it's a communal one. The strength of the Kazakh people lies not only in their ability to endure alone, but in their ability to endure together, united by faith and tradition. This sense of unity is especially important as the community faces the challenges of winter. The long, cold months are a time when isolation can feel all-consuming. But through these rituals, the Kazakh people ensure that no one is truly alone. Even in the harshest of conditions, they know that their shared rituals will bring them back together, that the spiritual bonds they share will strengthen them and help them face whatever obstacles come their way. The prayers for health, prosperity, and good harvests are not just for individuals, they are for the entire community, a collective hope that the year ahead will bring abundance and peace. In a world that often seems unpredictable and unforgiving, these spiritual practices offer the Kazakh people a sense of grounding, of continuity. As the ceremony concludes, there's a quiet but powerful recognition that the rituals performed tonight will continue to shape the community's future. The prayers offered are not just for survival, they are for flourishing, for the continuation of a way of life that has endured for centuries through countless winters and hardships. The ceremony wraps up with a sense of calm and fulfillment. The family members exchange looks, smiles, and soft words of gratitude, knowing that the spiritual strength they've called upon will carry them through the challenges of the coming year. The rituals of kudalyk have not only honored their ancestors, they've reaffirmed the bonds that hold the community together, reaffirming that no matter what the future holds, they will face it united with faith, hope, and resilience. In the quiet aftermath of the ceremony, you feel the weight of what's been shared, these prayers, these rituals, this collective spirit. It's not just the celebration of a new year. but the affirmation of an enduring culture, one rooted in reverence for the past, a deep connection to the land, and the strength that comes from community. As the family gathers around to share their meal, you realize that, for the Kazakh people, it is these moments of connection through prayer, ceremony, and shared tradition that truly nourish the soul. And in the warmth of that unity, they are ready to face the new year, whatever it may bring. As the evening settles into a peaceful rhythm, the sound of laughter and conversation fills the room, mingling with the soft crackle of the fire. The warmth from the hearth, coupled with the joy of shared food and stories, creates an atmosphere of contentment. The family, rejuvenated by the spiritual ceremony, now comes together in a new way around the table, where the meal is shared and the bonds of unity are strengthened further. The kudalyk ritual has prepared not only the hearts of the Kazakh people but their spirits, reminding them of the strength they draw from one another. In these moments, it's clear that their survival is not just about physical endurance, but about the emotional and spiritual nourishment they gain from the community. The land, the ancestors, and the shared history all contribute to a deep sense of belonging, one that extends far beyond individual hardship. As the family passes the besh barmak around, you sense a deeper significance in every gesture. The food is not just sustenance, it is part of the continuity of tradition. Each bite of borsaki, each sip of kubyz, is a reminder that survival in such a harsh environment requires more than just the strength of the body. It requires a commitment to each other, to the land, and to the culture that has shaped their way of life. Kudalyk serves as the foundation upon which this strength is built, a reminder that, as long as they hold onto their traditions and community, they will endure. The conversations around the table grow quieter as the night progresses, but the bonds forged earlier in the evening remain strong. The younger generation listens attentively to the stories of their elders, absorbing the lessons passed down through the years. These stories are not just tales of the past, they are blueprints for the future, teaching resilience, respect, and the importance of connection. The Kazakh people know that their strength lies in their ability to adapt, but also in their ability to preserve what has worked for them for centuries. And as the night continues, the rituals fade into the background, but their effects remain. There's a quiet understanding that this ceremony, this moment of connection, is what will carry the Kazakh people through the year ahead. In the face of whatever challenges arise, they will continue to draw strength from their rituals, from their deep connection to the land, and from one another. The faith, the hope, and the unity that have been nurtured through these traditions are what will allow them to thrive. In this shared silence, you realize that these rituals are not just about surviving the cold, harsh winters, they are about thriving in the face of adversity. The Kazakh people do not simply endure, they find ways to grow stronger, to keep their traditions alive, and to build a future that is rooted in the wisdom of their ancestors. Through kudalyk, through their prayers, and through the communal sharing of food and stories, they keep the spirit of their culture alive, no matter how much the world around them changes. As the evening winds down and the final prayers are offered for the year ahead, there's a sense of fulfillment in the air, a quiet certainty that, no matter what challenges the future holds, the Kazakh people will continue to face them with strength, unity, and faith. And in the warmth of the hearth, surrounded by family and tradition, they know that they are never truly alone. Their ancestors, their culture, and their community will always be there, guiding them through whatever comes next. As the final prayers are offered, the family members exchange quiet words of gratitude and blessings for the year ahead. The ritual has concluded, but its significance lingers in the room, weaving an invisible thread that connects each person, the past, and the future. The flickering firelight casts long shadows across the walls, but there's no longer any sense of coldness or isolation. The warmth of shared tradition, faith, and community fills every corner of the home, offering a sense of peace that cuts through the harsh winter night. In this moment, the Kazakh people stand united, not just by blood, but by a deep cultural bond that has endured for centuries. Their connection to the land, to each other, and to their ancestors is unshakable. And it's this connection that gives them the strength to face the challenges of the year ahead. The physical cold may seep into the bones, but the warmth of community and tradition ensures that they are never truly alone. As you look around the room, you see the generations of Kazakh people who have gathered together in this shared space. The older members of the family, their faces lined with wisdom and experience, share knowing glances with the younger ones. The younger generation, with eager eyes and hearts full of hope, absorb every word, every lesson, every moment of this ceremony. This passing of knowledge, this deep-seated respect for tradition, is what ensures the survival of their culture. You realize that the Kazakh people's strength is not just in their ability to withstand the harsh winters, but in their ability to adapt while staying true to their roots. The world may change, but these traditions, these rituals of connection, respect, and prayer will endure, grounding them in a shared sense of identity that transcends time and hardship. These rituals, passed down through generations, will continue to guide the Kazakh people as they move forward into the future, just as they have guided their ancestors through countless winters before them. The night draws to a close, and as the final morsels of food are shared and the last sips of kubyz are drunk, you feel a deep sense of connection to the family and the land. The Kazakh people are not just celebrating the passage of time, they are reaffirming their place in the world, their connection to each other, and their ability to endure. The prayers for health, prosperity, and good harvests are not just wishes, they are declarations of intent, a promise that, no matter what comes, the Kazakh people will continue to live with strength, with unity, and with faith. As you step outside, the cold night air hits you, sharp and biting, but it feels different now. The wind, once harsh and relentless, now seems distant, as if it has no power over the warmth inside the home. You realize that it's not just the physical warmth that matters, it's the warmth of tradition, of community, of shared purpose. The Kazakh people, bound by their spirituality and their rituals, have found a way to create warmth that transcends the physical. They have learned to thrive, not just in spite of the cold, but because of the strength that comes from being together, from honoring the past, and from embracing the future with hope. The Kazakh New Year, with its prayers, its rituals, and its shared moments, is a powerful reminder that survival is not just about enduring. It's about thriving in the face of adversity, about finding strength in unity, and about keeping the spirit of tradition alive, no matter what the world may bring. And as the night deepens and the stars twinkle in the clear, cold sky, you understand that the Kazakh people, through their faith, their family, and their connection to the land, will always find a way to endure and to prosper. As the ritual draws to a close, you realize that these practices serve as a form of renewal for the Kazakh people. The new year is not just about marking the passage of time, it's about preparing spiritually for the year ahead, about cleansing the soul and reaffirming the connection between the living and the ancestors. These rituals offer more than just blessings. They offer hope. In a world where survival is often a struggle, the act of praying together, of seeking guidance from the past, gives the Kazakh people the strength they need to face whatever challenges lie ahead. The spiritual practices of the Kazakh people are not just about asking for good fortune, they are about nurturing well-being, about finding peace in the midst of hardship, and about creating a sense of continuity between the generations. The rituals provide a sense of security, grounding the people in their traditions and faith, and reinforcing the belief that they are part of something greater than themselves. As the final prayers are spoken, you sense a calmness settle over the group, a collective sense of peace, as they prepare to embrace the new year with hope, resilience, and the unwavering strength of their traditions. As the last words of the prayer echo softly in the room, there is a moment of silence, a pause that feels both profound and comforting. The family members, their eyes closed in quiet reflection, seem to carry the weight of the moment within them, a shared understanding that this ritual, this sacred act of connection, has grounded them for the year ahead. The flickering candlelight casts gentle shadows, adding to the atmosphere of serenity. The quiet that follows isn't one of emptiness, but of fulfillment, of spiritual renewal and reaffirmation. The room feels alive with the energy of the ritual, with a sense of purpose and unity that lingers long after the prayers have ended. You notice how the younger members of the family, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of the fire, exchange glances with the elders, their respect for the tradition palpable. These moments, although simple, are shaping them. The spiritual practices, once learned through ritual and word, are now becoming a part of their very being, preparing them to carry the weight of this legacy forward. It's clear that the Kazakh people understand that their strength doesn't just come from surviving the harsh winters or enduring hardships. It comes from the wisdom, resilience, and faith passed down through the generations. With each year, they reaffirm their commitment to this way of life. The prayer for prosperity and good harvests is not just a wish, it is a promise to work together, to honor the ancestors, and to carry the traditions that have ensured survival through difficult times. And as you observe the quiet exchange of gratitude, you see how these spiritual practices provide a sense of continuity that keeps the Kazakh people grounded, no matter how the world around them changes. As the final moments of the ritual unfold, the family members begin to share their meal. The food, prepared with love and care, becomes not just nourishment for the body, but a celebration of the prayers spoken earlier. Beshbarmak, barsaki, and kumiz are served, the meal itself acting as a symbol of abundance and togetherness, reinforcing the themes of community and mutual support. It's a time to break bread, to share stories, and to enjoy the simple joy of being together. The act of sharing food, just as the act of praying together, is a reaffirmation of the bonds that hold the family together. The food provides sustenance, yes, but it also nurtures the spirit, creating an unspoken connection between the people, the land, and the generations. The celebration, however humble, is a powerful reminder that survival is not just about enduring the harshness of the physical world. It is about sustaining the emotional and spiritual bonds that carry the Kazakh people through adversity. With each prayer, each shared meal, each connection with the ancestors, they are renewed not just for the year ahead, but for all the years to come. In these moments of reflection, connection, and sharing, they find the strength to face the future with resilience and hope, knowing that they are part of a larger story, a story that has endured for generations and will continue to thrive in the hearts of those who carry it forward. As the evening progresses, the sound of the dombra fills the air, a two-stringed, long-necked instrument that is deeply embedded in Kazakh culture. The melodies are smooth and flowing, yet with a rhythm that carries a sense of resilience and strength. The dombra's soft, twangy sound seems to echo the vastness of the steppes, evoking the open skies and endless horizons. It's more than just music. It's a connection to the land itself, a way of communicating the heart's deepest feelings when words fall short. You watch as the musician's fingers move gracefully along the strings, producing tunes that feel both ancient and timeless. The dombra is not just an instrument, it's the voice of the Kazakh people, a way of expressing their joy, their sorrow, their hopes, and their dreams. For the Kazakh people, the dombra is far more than a musical instrument. It is a tool for storytelling. The songs it plays carry the stories of their ancestors, passed down through generations. These melodies capture the history of their people, from the triumphs to the hardships, and are woven into the very fabric of Kazakh life. As the sound of the dombra fills the room, you can feel the weight of history, a bridge between the past and the present. The music serves not just as entertainment, but as a way to honor the ancestors, to remember where the Kazakh people have come from, and to ensure that their traditions live on. The sound of the dombra is not merely heard, it is felt, deeply ingrained in the spirit of those who listen. As the melodies ebb and flow, they carry with them the weight of time, as if each note reverberates with the lives of those who walked the steps before. The musician's fingers press gently on the strings, coaxing out notes that seem to carry the very essence of the land, the endless horizon of the steppes, the vast open skies, and the raw, unyielding spirit of survival that has defined the Kazakh people for centuries. The dombra is not simply a means of expressing joy or sorrow. It's a vessel for cultural memory. As you listen, you begin to understand how deeply this instrument is woven into the Kazakh identity. The music it creates is a thread that binds the past with the present. Each melody, each song, tells a story of ancestors who navigated the harsh landscapes, who lived through triumphs and tragedies, and whose strength continues to echo in the lives of those who are gathered around you. You can almost imagine the Kazakh nomads of the past, gathered around a fire in the open steppes, strumming their dombra to pass the time during long, cold nights. Through the instrument, they would have shared stories of their travels, of love, of loss, and of survival. The melodies would have carried messages not just for entertainment, but for preserving history, for teaching lessons, for keeping the collective memory of the people alive. The dombra became, and still is, a way for the Kazakh people to express the deepest corners of their souls, when words alone cannot convey their experiences. As the evening continues, the music grows more lively, the rhythm picks up, and the dance begins, moving in time with the music. But even in the most joyful of tunes, there is an underlying sense of resilience. The dombra is not just a tool for celebration, it is a reminder of the hardships that have been overcome, of the strength required to live in such an unforgiving land. It is a celebration of the Kazakh people's enduring spirit, a reflection of their ability to adapt, survive, and thrive, even in the harshest of conditions. The tunes weave a sense of unity in the room. It's clear that this music is not just for the individual, it's for the collective, for the community. The songs that pour from the dombra speak of togetherness, of shared history and shared identity. You can see it in the faces of those around you, the way they close their eyes and sway to the music, lost in the memories that the notes evoke. The dombra isn't just music. It's a dialogue between the past and present, a conversation that spans generations. It's a reminder that, despite the passage of time, the heart of Kazakh culture remains unbroken. As the final notes of the dombra fade away, there's a sense of reverence in the air, a quiet acknowledgement of the power of music to transcend time and space. The Kazakh people understand that their music, their stories, and their traditions are not just part of their past, they are alive, carried forward in every generation. The dombra is more than an instrument. It is a bridge to the past, a symbol of survival, and a testament to the enduring spirit of the Kazakh people. It reminds them that no matter what challenges they may face in the future, their heritage will continue to guide them, to unite them, and to inspire them, just as it has for centuries. As the dombra fades, the haunting sound of the kobyz takes over, its two strings vibrating with a deeper, more spiritual resonance. The kobyz is an ancient instrument, its roots deep in the nomadic traditions of the Kazakh people. The music it produces is richer, fuller, with a melancholic, almost mystical quality. The deep, resonant hum of the kobyz is said to carry the spirit of the land, the very essence of the steppes, and the power of nature itself. Listening to the kobyz, you feel the pull of something larger than yourself, a sense of the vastness of the world and the smallness of the individual within it. Yet, at the same time, the music provides comfort, a reminder that in the face of the infinite, we are all connected by our shared humanity, by our traditions, and by the land we call home. The kobyz is often used in ceremonial contexts, its powerful sound used to invoke spiritual strength and guidance. In Kazakh culture, it's believed that the instrument can connect the physical world with the spiritual, allowing for a deeper understanding of life's mysteries. As you listen, the music feels almost like a prayer, a spiritual offering to the ancestors and to the land. In the New Year's celebration, the sound of the kobyz weaves a thread of unity, reminding everyone present of the deep spiritual connection that ties them together, not just as individuals, but as part of a larger, unbroken cultural legacy. As the kobyz continues its mournful, resonant hum, you feel its vibrations not only in the air, but in your very soul. The music seems to travel deep within you, evoking a sense of peace and reverence that is difficult to put into words. There's something profoundly sacred about the sound of the kobyz, as if it holds the wisdom of generations and the pulse of the land itself. Each note carries with it the energy of the steppes, the ancient winds, and the lives lived on this vast, unforgiving land. You feel a connection to everything: the earth beneath your feet, the sky above, and the ancestors who have walked this very land for centuries. The sound of the kobyz transforms the space, drawing everyone into a shared, spiritual experience. It's no longer just music. It becomes a collective prayer, a call to the spirits of the past to offer their guidance and protection. It's believed that the kobyz, with its mystical tones, has the power to bridge the gap between the living and the spiritual world. For the Kazakh people, the kobyz isn't just a musical instrument, it is a sacred tool used in rituals, a means of connecting to something greater than oneself. As the music fills the room, it seems to envelop everyone present, creating a profound sense of unity and collective purpose. The melodies of the kobyz are often played during significant moments, like the New Year celebration, when the community gathers to reflect, pray, and renew their connection to their roots. The sound carries a sense of timelessness, echoing not only through the room but through the ages. The kobyz reminds everyone present that, despite the hardships and struggles of the present, they are part of something much larger, a long, unbroken lineage of Kazakh culture and tradition that has endured and will continue to endure. As you sit there, enveloped in the sound, you understand why the kobyz is so deeply revered. Its deep, resonant tones seem to pull you into a trance, calming the mind while stirring something ancient within you. The music is a reminder of the spiritual connection the Kazakh people share not just with their ancestors, but with the land, the animals, and the community that sustain them. In the midst of the New Year's celebration, as you listen to the kobyz, you realize that this is not just a moment of festivity, it is a moment of spiritual renewal. The Kazakh people, in their connection to the kobyz and to each other, are affirming their place in the world, their place in history, and their commitment to carrying on the traditions that have shaped them. As the final notes of the kobyz fade into the night, there is a collective sigh, a shared sense of peace that lingers in the air. The connection between the present and the past, between the physical world and the spiritual, feels as though it has deepened, solidified, and affirmed. In the quiet after the music, there's a palpable sense of unity, as if everyone present is reminded of the enduring power of tradition, faith, and community. The kobyz, in all its mysticism, has served its purpose not just as an instrument of music, but as a conduit for spiritual connection, for the unbroken continuity of Kazakh culture, and for the collective strength of the people who carry it forward. With the music flowing through the room, it's time for the traditional dances to begin. The first dance is kobyz, a lively and energetic display of movement that mirrors the joy and hope of the coming spring. As the dancers move gracefully across the floor, their steps are in sync with the rhythm of the music, each movement a reflection of the land's awakening after the long winter. You watch as the dancers' bodies sway and spin, their expressions full of life and enthusiasm. The kobyz dance is a celebration of renewal, of new beginnings, and of the promise of warmer days ahead. Next comes kobyz, a dance that tells the story of the journey through life. It is slower, more contemplative, yet full of grace. The movements are more deliberate, a reflection of the challenges that the Kazakh people have faced through history, yet also of their endurance and perseverance. You can see how the dancers' movements are filled with both strength and softness, a beautiful blend of resilience and vulnerability. Kobyz is a dance of reflection, of honoring the struggles and triumphs of life, and finding beauty in both the light and the dark. Finally, the zhir dance begins, its movements embodying the deep connection the Kazakh people have to their ancestors, to the land, and to one another. Jir is often performed in a circle, symbolizing unity and the unbreakable bonds of community. The dancers' movements are synchronized, flowing in harmony with the music, as if the entire community is moving together as one. There is no hierarchy in the dance, no distinction between the young and the old, the strong and the weak. It is a collective expression of joy, of solidarity, and of shared purpose. As you watch, you realize that this dance, like the music, is not just a performance. It is an embodiment of the Kazakh people's spirit, their unity, and their enduring strength. As the final notes of Jir resonate, the dancers stand in a circle, their hands still linked, their faces glowing with the joy of the collective experience. There's no applause, no loud cheer, just a profound silence that follows the music. In this stillness, the dance has done its work. It has embodied the spirit of the Kazakh people, a reflection of their unity, their history, and their shared journey through life. The circle remains unbroken, a symbol of the community's strength and resilience, a reminder that no one is ever truly alone. You can feel the sense of connection in the air, a palpable understanding that these dances are not just about entertainment, they are about affirming something much deeper. Koktum, Ara Koktum, and Jir aren't simply traditional dances. They are the living, breathing expressions of the Kazakh people's soul. Through these movements, they celebrate their triumphs, mourn their losses, and find beauty in the rhythms of life, death, and renewal. The dances allow them to honor the past, to embrace the present, and to look forward with hope toward the future. The circle of dancers disperses, but the energy of the dance lingers in the room. There's a lightness in the air now, a sense of release, as if the act of dancing has allowed everyone present to breathe a little deeper, to stand a little taller. The music fades, but its impact remains. The rhythm still echoing in your chest, the melody still playing in the back of your mind. It's a reminder that the Kazakh people don't just endure, they thrive. In the face of a world that can be both beautiful and brutal, they come together to dance, to pray, to sing, and in doing so, they reaffirm their strength, their resilience, and their unbreakable bond with one another and the land. As the evening draws to a close, the last of the music fades away, but the sense of unity that the music and dance have created remains. The dombra, the kobyz, the dances, they are more than just entertainment. They are acts of cultural preservation, expressions of identity, and celebrations of life. In the simple act of dancing, the Kazakh people are honoring their ancestors, their community, and their traditions. They are reminding themselves that no matter what the future holds, they have the strength to face it, together, as one community bound by shared purpose and spirit. And in this moment, you realize that the Kazakh New Year celebration is not just a reflection of the past, it is a living testament to the enduring strength of the Kazakh people. A people who know that their true power lies not just in surviving the harshest winters or enduring hardship, but in the joy they find in each other's company, in their music, and in their shared heritage. Through dance and song, they are constantly renewing their connection to their history, to their land, and to one another, reminding themselves, and all who are fortunate enough to witness it, that the true spirit of survival is found in unity, celebration, and the strength of their traditions. As the last notes of the Jir dance fade away, the room fills with a sense of quiet satisfaction. The music and dance have created a shared experience, one that has brought everyone together, uniting the community in celebration. You can feel the joy, the warmth, and the connection that these rituals have fostered. The Kazakh people do not just celebrate the new year, they celebrate each other, their culture, and their shared history. The music and dance are not just forms of expression, they are forms of unity, of communion, and of continuity. In a world that can often feel cold and isolating, music and dance provide a powerful reminder of the importance of community. The Kazakh people understand that survival isn't just about physical endurance, it's about the emotional and spiritual bonds that tie them together. The dances reflect the strength and unity that has allowed them to endure through countless winters, and the music, from the plaintive tones of the kobyz to the lively rhythms of the dombra, reflects the joy and resilience that define the Kazakh spirit. As the night unfolds, it's clear that these traditions are not just about marking the passing of time, they are about celebrating the shared hope and strength that will carry the Kazakh people forward, no matter what the future holds. As the night progresses, there is a quiet but powerful sense of fulfillment in the air. The dances have ended, but the energy they created lingers, woven into the fabric of the room and the hearts of those gathered. The laughter continues softly, now punctuated with stories of the past and hopes for the future. The Kazakh people, young and old, sit together close-knit, sharing not just a meal but the intangible sense of being part of something much larger than themselves. In this shared space, the warmth of the fire seems to extend beyond the physical heat. It reaches into the hearts of the people, reaffirming the importance of their connections to one another. The bond formed by these rituals, whether it's through the music of the dombra, the deep resonant sound of the kobyz, or the synchronized movements of the jir dance, is something that cannot be easily broken. It is, in essence, the heartbeat of the Kazakh community, strong, steady, and ever-present. As the music fades and the candles flicker, the night feels like a moment suspended in time. In the quiet, there is no sense of rush. The Kazakh people have long known that the true essence of celebration lies not in hurried festivities, but in slow, deliberate moments of connection. These moments of peace, of collective reflection, and of shared joy are what nourish the soul and fortify the spirit. You feel a deep sense of gratitude for being a part of this, even as an observer. The rituals, the songs, and the dances have painted a picture of a people whose culture is resilient, vibrant, and alive. It is clear that the Kazakh people do not just celebrate the passage of time, they celebrate life itself in all its complexities, challenges, and joys. They celebrate their ability to adapt, to survive, and to find beauty in the smallest of moments, even in the face of adversity. As the evening draws to a close, the sense of unity and peace is palpable. The Kazakh people, with their rich traditions, have shown that survival is not simply about physical endurance, but about the emotional and spiritual connections that bind them together. And as they prepare for the year ahead, there is an unspoken understanding that whatever challenges may come, they will face them as one, their strength drawn from their shared heritage, their community, and their deep connection to the land that sustains them. In this quiet moment, surrounded by the warmth of shared traditions and the sense of unity, you realize that the true essence of the Kazakh New Year lies not just in the rituals or the festivities, but in the enduring bonds of family, community, and culture. The dance may have ended, but the spirit of it will continue to carry them forward, shaping their future just as it has shaped their past. And with that, you understand that no matter how much the world changes, the spirit of the Kazakh people will remain steadfast, forever united in tradition, resilience, and hope. As the last of the evening's festivities wind down and the fire burns low, the atmosphere is filled with a quiet sense of contentment. The Kazakh people gather in small groups, exchanging final words of encouragement and hope for the year ahead. Even in the soft murmur of conversation, there is an underlying sense of solidarity, a shared understanding that no matter what challenges the coming year may bring, they have each other to rely on. The bonds formed tonight, through music, dance, and prayer, have strengthened the very foundation of their community. You notice the elderly family members, their eyes glinting with the wisdom of generations, leaning in to impart their knowledge to the younger ones. They are passing down more than just practical advice. They are instilling in them the values that have carried their people through centuries of hardship: resilience, respect for tradition, the importance of community. These are the lessons that will continue to shape future generations, ensuring that the Kazakh spirit endures. As the evening draws to a close, the food has been shared, the prayers spoken, and the dances performed. But perhaps the most important thing that has been passed down tonight is the sense of belonging. The Kazakh people know that survival is never just an individual endeavor. It is the collective strength of the community that ensures everyone's well-being. In the face of life's inevitable trials, it is these spiritual connections, these shared rituals, that give them the strength to endure. The cold winds may still howl outside, and the snow may continue to blanket the land, but inside there is warmth. The warmth of shared history, shared faith, and shared hope. You feel it too, a sense of peace that comes from knowing you are part of something much greater than yourself. For the Kazakh people, the new year is not merely a celebration of the passage of time. It is a reaffirmation of their collective will to persevere, to honor their ancestors, and to pass on the strength of their culture to the generations yet to come. As you look around the room, you see not just a celebration, but a quiet promise. The Kazakh people have faced many challenges before, and they will undoubtedly face more in the future. But tonight, through their music, their dance, and their prayers, they have strengthened the ties that bind them together. They have renewed their commitment to each other and to the land that sustains them. And as the final embers of the fire flicker and the night grows still, there is a quiet certainty in the air. Whatever the new year brings, they will face it together, united in tradition, faith, and the unbreakable bond of community. In the end, it is this unity, the sense that each person is part of a larger whole, that gives the Kazakh people the strength to thrive, not just survive. They have learned that no matter how harsh the winters may be, no matter how uncertain the future, the power of connection, of shared purpose, and of deep-rooted tradition is what will carry them forward. And as you leave this celebration, you carry with you the warmth of their spirit, knowing that the Kazakh people will continue to find strength in each other, in their past, and in the traditions that have sustained them for generations. As the last of the evening's festivities wind down and the fire burns low, the atmosphere is filled with a quiet sense of contentment. The Kazakh people gather in small groups, exchanging final words of encouragement and hope for the year ahead. Even in the soft murmur of conversation, there is an underlying sense of solidarity, a shared understanding that no matter what challenges the coming year may bring, they have each other to rely on. The bonds formed tonight, through music, dance, and prayer, have strengthened the very foundation of their community. The laughter and quiet words of reflection remind you that, for the Kazakh people, survival and strength lie in their togetherness. As the night deepens, the warmth of the fire continues to flicker, casting a soft glow on the faces of those gathered. The conversations flow easily, moving from personal hopes for the year ahead to shared memories of times past. The younger members of the family listen attentively to the stories of the elders, absorbing the wisdom in the words, as if each story holds a piece of the fabric that binds their culture together. You see how deeply rooted these moments are in the collective memory of the Kazakh people, a tradition of passing down knowledge, not just about survival, but about the values that form the foundation of their identity: respect for the land, the importance of community, and the power of shared strength. As laughter continues to ripple through the room, you notice that there is no rush to leave, no hurry to end the evening. The Kazakh people are in no rush to escape the moment. The warmth of the hearth, the connection shared, and the sense of continuity between generations provide a sense of calm that lingers long after the music has stopped. It's clear that for them, these rituals are not just about marking the passing of time, but about reaffirming their place in a cycle of life that stretches far beyond their individual lifetime. The room grows quieter as the night draws to a close. The last of the food has been shared, the last of the stories told. But even in the silence, the sense of connection remains. The Kazakh people, though they may face hardships ahead, know they are not alone in those challenges. The strength of their community, reinforced by this gathering, will carry them through whatever the future brings. There's a quiet understanding that the shared experience of the evening, the music, the dance, the prayers, has already given them a deep sense of peace and readiness for the year ahead. As the last embers of the fire burn low, you can sense that the Kazakh people are not just looking forward to the new year, they are already living it, grounded in their traditions, bound by their shared history, and supported by their community. There is no fear, no uncertainty in their hearts, just a collective resolve to continue living with strength, grace, and unity. And as the night settles into a peaceful quiet, it becomes clear that, in the Kazakh way of life, survival is not just about enduring the trials of life, it's about embracing them together, finding joy and strength in the shared moments that remind them of who they are and the heritage they carry forward. As the night deepens, the warmth of the fire continues to flicker, casting a soft glow on the faces of those gathered. The conversations flow easily, moving from personal hopes for the year ahead to shared memories of times past. The younger members of the family listen attentively to the stories of the elders, absorbing the wisdom in the words, as if each story holds a piece of the fabric that binds their culture together. You see how deeply rooted these moments are in the collective memory of the Kazakh people, a tradition of passing down knowledge, not just about survival, but about the values that form the foundation of their identity: respect for the land, the importance of community, and the power of shared strength. As laughter continues to ripple through the room, you notice that there is no rush to leave, no hurry to end the evening. The Kazakh people are in no rush to escape the moment. The warmth of the hearth, The connection shared and the sense of continuity between generations provide a sense of calm that lingers long after the music has stopped. It's clear that for them, these rituals are not just about marking the passing of time, but about reaffirming their place in a cycle of life that stretches far beyond their individual lifetimes. The room grows quieter as the night draws to a close. The last of the food has been shared, the last of the stories told. But even in the silence, the sense of connection remains. The Kazakh people, though they may face hardships ahead, know they are not alone in those challenges. The strength of their community, reinforced by this gathering, will carry them through whatever the future brings. There's a quiet understanding that the shared experience of the evening, the music, the dance, the prayers has already given them a deep sense of peace and readiness for the year ahead. As the last embers of the fire burn low, you can sense that the Kazakh people are not just looking forward to the new year, they are already living it, grounded in their traditions, bound by their shared history, and supported by their community. There is no fear, no uncertainty in their hearts, just a collective resolve to continue living with strength, grace, and unity. And as the night settles into a peaceful quiet, it becomes clear that, in the Kazakh way of life, survival is not just about enduring the trials of life, it's about embracing them together, finding joy and strength in the shared moments that remind them of who they are and the heritage they carry forward. As the fire's last embers slowly fade into the night, a serene stillness envelops the room, but it's not a silence of emptiness. It's the calm after a storm of activity, a moment of quiet reflection after the evening's rituals, music, and connection. The Kazakh people, though physically at rest, seem spiritually lifted, as if the bonds that have been strengthened throughout the night are now woven into the very air they breathe. You realize that this is the true essence of their culture, the ability to find strength, hope, and unity in the simplest of things, in the shared rituals that have connected generations for centuries. Outside, the winter winds may still howl across the steppes, but inside, there is peace, a peace that comes from knowing that no matter what challenges the world brings, the Kazakh people will continue to face them together. In the warmth of their homes, in the embrace of their traditions, they are reminded of their resilience and the unbreakable thread that links them to the land, to their ancestors, and to each other. They are not just surviving, they are living with purpose, grounded in the wisdom passed down through the generations and the strength of the community they have built. As you watch the last few people slowly retire for the night, you notice that there is no rush, no hurried movement. There's no need to say anything more. Everything that needs to be said has been spoken through the music, the dance, the prayers, and the shared moments of togetherness. The Kazakh people have lived this night as a reflection of who they are. People of the land, people of tradition, people of resilience. They carry the weight of their history with pride, and they move into the future with unwavering faith that their unity and strength will continue to guide them. The quiet of the night is now all-encompassing, but it is a quiet that speaks volumes. The embers of the fire flicker out, leaving a gentle glow behind. And in that final, peaceful moment, you realize that the Kazakh people's way of life is not just a response to the world around them, it is a way of embracing that world, facing it head-on with dignity, warmth, and a deep sense of connection. The world may change, and the seasons may pass, but their traditions will remain. guiding them through the darkest winters and into the promise of each new year. And as you leave the warmth of the home, stepping into the cold winter night, the lessons of the evening stay with you. The Kazakh people have shown you that survival is not just about enduring, it's about thriving together, finding strength in the shared moments, and embracing the beauty of life, no matter the challenges it presents. The night is still and quiet, but in your heart there is a new understanding that the power of community, tradition, and unity is the true light that will always guide the Kazakh people through the coldest of winters. As the evening draws to a close, the food has been shared, the prayers spoken, and the dances performed. But perhaps the most important thing that has been passed down tonight is the sense of belonging. The Kazakh people understand that survival is never just an individual endeavor. It is the collective strength of the community that ensures everyone's well-being. In a world that can feel cold and isolating, these rituals bring people together, creating emotional and spiritual bonds that help them face life's challenges. The Kazakh people know that it's in these shared moments in the unity of their community that they find the strength to endure. The sense of peace in the room is palpable, a quiet reflection of how far the community has come and how strong they are in the face of adversity. As the last words are spoken and the final dancers twirl to the music's lingering notes, the room settles into a peaceful quiet. There's no rush to leave. No one wants the moment to end. The warmth of the evening, both from the fire and the spirit of togetherness, lingers, wrapping around the people like a blanket against the cold night outside. The Kazakh people, though they may face hardships in the year ahead, have just been reminded of the immense strength they derive from one another. These rituals have fortified their sense of identity, grounding them in their shared history, values, and connection to the land. The laughter and stories of the night are not just for the present. They are memories in the making, stories that will be told again and again, passed down through generations. The bonds that have been strengthened tonight are not fleeting. They will endure, reinforcing the fabric of this community. Each prayer, each song, each step of the dance has woven these people closer together, reminding them that in the face of the unpredictable world outside, their unity is their greatest strength. As the fire burns down to its final embers, you notice the older generations still sitting together, exchanging quiet words of wisdom with the younger ones. Their presence is a living testament to the resilience of this community, a reflection of the continuity that these traditions ensure. The younger generation listens intently, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of the remaining embers, their eyes filled with reverence for the past and hope for the future. In these moments, you see the passing of knowledge, the passing of values that will carry them forward into the years to come. The ritual of kudalyk, the prayers, the music, the dance, it all comes together in this quiet moment of reflection. These traditions, far from being mere rituals, are the backbone of the Kazakh way of life. They remind the people that they are part of something much larger than themselves, a shared history, a deep connection to the land, and a collective purpose that transcends individual struggles. As the night deepens, the sense of belonging only grows stronger. The Kazakh people know that no matter what challenges the new year may bring, they are not facing them alone. The strength of the community will see them through, as it always has. The shared hope for the future, the collective prayers for health, prosperity, and good harvests, have bound them together in a way that words alone cannot fully capture. It is in these moments, in the unity of their traditions, that the Kazakh people find their truest strength. In the stillness of the room, the sense of peace that has settled over the community is unmistakable. It is a peace born not from the absence of difficulty, but from the knowledge that they are not alone in facing it. As the night wraps up and the last of the guests bid their goodbyes, there is a quiet understanding. The Kazakh people have weathered many winters together, and they will face the challenges of the future with the same resilience, unity, and strength that have carried them through generations. No matter what lies ahead, they will endure together. The cold winds may still howl outside, and the snow may continue to blanket the land, but inside there is warmth. The warmth of shared history, shared faith, and shared hope. You feel it too, a sense of peace that comes from knowing you are part of something much greater than yourself. For the Kazakh people, the new year is not merely a celebration of the passage of time. It is a reaffirmation of their collective will to persevere, to honor their ancestors, and to pass on the strength of their culture to the generations yet to come. With the final embers of the fire flickering, there is a quiet certainty in the air. Whatever the new year brings, they will face it together, united in tradition, faith, and the unbreakable bond of community. In the end, it is this unity, the sense that each person is part of a larger whole, that gives the Kazakh people the strength to thrive, not just survive. As the fire burns low and the shadows stretch across the room, the Kazakh people sit together, basking in the quiet peace that follows the celebration. The warmth of the hearth is more than just a physical comfort. It's a symbol of the strength and resilience they have cultivated together over centuries. Even as the harsh winter rages outside, they know that the warmth they share, both literal and figurative, is something that will always keep them connected, no matter the challenges ahead. The sound of soft murmurs and laughter fills the air as the conversation continues. The night has shifted from the formal rituals of prayer and celebration to a more intimate gathering, where stories are passed between generations. The elders, with their deep knowledge of the past, share their memories with the younger ones, who listen with attentive eyes. It's not just about telling stories, it's about grounding the next generation in the history, the wisdom, and the values that have sustained the Kazakh people through adversity. There is a sense of belonging here, an unspoken understanding that each person in the room is a part of something much larger than themselves. The bonds they share transcend time and individual experience. They are united not just by the immediate ties of family, but by their collective heritage, their shared history, and their shared purpose. The Kazakh way of life is about community, about taking care of one another, standing together in the face of hardship, and celebrating life's blessings as a united front. This collective spirit, strengthened by rituals like kudalyk, the music, and the dance, reinforces the belief that together they can face anything the future may hold. As the final moments of the evening unfold, the sense of peace deepens. The Kazakh people, in their unity, have already made a promise to one another that no matter what the world throws at them, they will face it side by side, upholding the traditions that have kept them strong for generations. The harshness of life may test them, but their shared history, their deep spiritual connection, and the unbreakable bonds of community will carry them forward. And so, as the last of the embers die down and the final goodbyes are exchanged, there's a quiet but firm resolve in the air. The new year may be uncertain, The world may continue to change, but one thing remains constant: the Kazakh people's ability to endure and thrive together. They will continue to honor their past, embrace their present, and pass down the strength of their culture to those who come after them, ensuring that the spirit of the Kazakh people remains as strong and enduring as the land they call home. As you reflect on the Kazakh New Year celebration, the overwhelming sense of resilience, optimism, and strength is impossible to ignore. For the Kazakh people, winter is not just a season. It's a harsh, unrelenting challenge that tests every aspect of their existence. Yet, despite the biting cold, the howling winds, and the deep snow that blankets the land, they face it not with fear but with a quiet, determined resolve. This resilience is woven into the very fabric of their culture. It is seen in the way they honor their traditions, share in community rituals, and draw strength from one another. The Kazakh people understand that survival is never a solitary endeavor. It is through unity, shared rituals, and mutual support that they endure. This strength is not just physical, it is emotional and spiritual as well. The music, the prayers, the dances, they are not just expressions of joy, but affirmations of their ability to endure, to thrive, and to move forward together. The Kazakh people approach each new year with optimism, knowing that no matter the challenges they may face, they have the traditions, the community, and the collective will to overcome them. Their spirit, grounded in centuries of survival on the unforgiving steppes, remains unwavering, and it is this very spirit that carries them through each winter and into the future. As the new year dawns, the Kazakh people are reminded once again of their ability to adapt and grow, even in the most challenging of circumstances. The New Year's celebration is not just a ritual, it is a declaration of their enduring strength and resilience. Each dance, each song, each prayer is a testament to the indomitable spirit that has carried them through harsh winters, famine, and uncertainty. It is a collective reminder that no matter how the world may change, the foundation of unity, tradition, and community remains unshakable. In this quiet yet profound way, the Kazakh people affirm that survival is not simply about enduring hardships, it is about thriving in the face of adversity. Every challenge faced in the past becomes a lesson for the future, each trial a stepping stone toward greater strength and unity. The celebration of the New Year, rooted in age-old customs and rituals, reflects this very truth, that through mutual support, respect for the land, and honoring the ancestors, they will continue to rise, no matter the difficulties ahead. The communal nature of these celebrations highlights the importance of shared strength in overcoming life's obstacles. As the Kazakh people come together to celebrate the new year, they reaffirm the power of collective hope, the unbreakable bond that holds them together as a people. The trials of winter may continue to test them, but the sense of community, of having each other to lean on, ensures that they will always find a way through. Through it all, the Kazakh people remain steadfast in their optimism. They do not face the new year with trepidation, but with the knowledge that, no matter what challenges arise, they will be met with the strength of their traditions, the resilience of their community, and the unyielding will to endure. Their ability to not only survive, but to embrace life, to find joy in the smallest moments, and to unite in the face of adversity is what gives them the strength to carry on, year after year. And so, As the new year begins, the Kazakh people stand united in their faith, their culture, and their hope for the future. Their resilience is a beacon of light, guiding them forward with strength, optimism, and the knowledge that they are never alone in facing the trials ahead. In their shared rituals, their music, their dance, and their prayers, they find the strength to rise again and again, proving that no matter how cold the winters may be, the warmth of community and tradition will always guide them through. The Kazakh New Year celebration is much more than a festive occasion. It is a profound cultural ritual that bonds families, honors ancestral traditions, and prepares the community for the year ahead. At its core, this celebration is a reaffirmation of the values that have defined the Kazakh people for generations: respect for the land, reverence for the ancestors, and the importance of community. The prayers, the music, the dance, all serve to unite the people in a shared expression of hope, gratitude, and faith. In a world that is constantly changing, the Kazakh New Year provides a vital connection to the past. It is a moment for the younger generation to learn from the wisdom of their elders, to absorb the lessons of survival, perseverance, and resilience that have been passed down through the centuries. It is a reminder that no matter how the world shifts around them, the strength of their traditions, the bond of family, and the power of community will remain constant. The celebration is a bridge between past, present, and future, ensuring that the Kazakh people continue to thrive, not just by enduring the winter, but by embracing each new year with renewed hope and collective strength. As the night comes to a peaceful close, the warmth of shared traditions and the strength of the community linger in the air. The Kazakh New Year celebration, rich with cultural meaning and connection, has not only marked the passage of time, but has renewed the spirit of the people. As they look to the future with hope and resilience, they do so with the knowledge that their heritage, their unity, and their faith will continue to guide them. In the quiet of the evening, surrounded by family and tradition, the Kazakh people stand strong, ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead. Good evening, and may the new year bring you peace, strength, and the warmth of community.